Hello, everybody, and good Friday evening. It is, well, it's something that has actually been asked for by a few people. You all want to see what actually happened in the Noob Championship. What on earth is going on outside my house? Shut up. You all wanted to see the content from the Noob Championship. As I said, I didn't last long in my vlog, which it really didn't last long in my at all, because Those of you that saw my vlog would have seen that it was all going on behind me while I was racing, and basically what happened is, I got spun off straight into the first corner by someone who had less traction than I did, surprisingly, which I didn't think was possible, because I was pretty on the edge of traction when I started that race, and yet someone just spun me out. I crashed into the wall, tyre, all that, so I lasted about 25 seconds into a 25-minute race, which was quite disappointing, so I really wanted to put my name out there a little bit, but it was a shame. So we will have that content. That will be later on in the video. I might put a link to when all of the content from the new championship starts. But for now, what I want to do is I want to describe the issues that I was having last Thursday night when I was doing no assist for the first time, basically, like with other people, because the issues I had were just huge. So I got a list. This is how bad the issues was. I have a list of issues that I was struggling with. They aren't really issues. They're just things that I've never encountered, because I run with traction control, ABS. I can't actually think of any of the others, but I run with all of the assists apart from steering assist, braking assist, and quite often only braking line on corners only. But yeah, what I wanted to show you first was how the whole sort of journey started, and a nice little bit from Xmatic Gene here was the Skype interview that we did for his channel video. That will be in there. I don't know if the link will be in the description, but I'm pretty sure it's easy to find. Just click on, if you search Noob Championship in YouTube, it'll probably be the first episode on there. I don't think mine will be. But what I wanted to show you first was the Skype call that me and him had within the interview. So what I'll do is I'll show that now, and then we will move on to the issues that I have with the with running no assist. So listen to the Skype call. Hope you enjoy that part, and then we'll get on to the issues that I'm having with the non-assist challenge.
So, what is your Xbox One gamer tag?
Causewell SC96.
And how old are you?
20.
And your name?
Alex.
Brilliant. Hello, Alex, and welcome to the F1 Noob journey. I've got a few questions for you now. The first one being, how are you feeling about the upcoming F1 Noob journey?
Like in every race, I'm going to end up coming last. I've done all assists off a couple of times before and just crashed at every corner, so confidence is not high.
But the idea is to improve, so that's the whole point of it. Hopefully by the end you'll be a genius at the game. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the maximum amount of noob, how noob do you think you are at the F1 games?
Probably 8.
8. Okay, cool. So that's without assists. What about with assists?
With assists, yeah, I'm pretty quick. Learning the game's taken a while, because it's actually quite different from F1 2015 with the whole sort of like curves and stuff like that. They react really weirdly. Sure,
yeah, they do. Yeah, so 2016 they're a lot more aggressive, and you can't really go on them as much. So do you have any favourite tracks?
Favourite tracks, Canada being the obvious one. I like Mexico, Brazil, that sort of thing. So
right.
It's
a bit of bunny hopping at Canada then, I expect to see.
Yes.
Over this last chicane at least. How long have you played the F1 games for?
Probably way back in 2006 when F1 Championship Edition came out, so quite a while.
We've got a veteran on our hands then.
I know.
And and finally, what do you hope to achieve from this series?
Probably sort of just to gain something like traction control off, or learn to turn one assist off, maybe AES or traction control or automatic gears or whatever. Just turn one of them off.
Yeah, and if you could pick a result, where would you like to get at any point during the season? Obviously, everyone wants to win, but where do you think realistically you'd like to get?
I'd like to finish in the top. God, no, hold on. Let's just go by the middle of the season, be sort of a top 10 contender.
Okay, cool. I like that. Realistic, but not too setting the bar too high for yourself.
Yeah, it's something I might actually be able to achieve rather than something that I'm definitely not.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alex, and we'll see you on the track.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Goodbye. So the first issue is, of course, traction control. Now, in the background probably now, I will have loads of images and shots of me just losing the back end because, yeah, it was not going well. Basically, all of these shots now are coming from some practice I did. Oh, shut up! Coming from some practice I did maybe last Sunday, I think maybe. I got my steering wheel out. I do have a steering wheel, and that is what I'm going to be learning on because I think it's easier to modulate the throttle. Modulate, that's probably the right word. Modulate the throttle and do the gears and do the steering. It's just easier. It makes it a little bit more realistic. It makes it a little bit easier to learn. So I got the steering wheel out. I did some practice in the background, and sort of, I think I did 38 minutes worth of practice or something. I put in one decent qualifying lap in those 38 minutes that was not disallowed. That will come probably at the end of this little segment. But yeah, so all of what you're seeing behind happened in practice, and it's just me losing the back end. Obviously now this in F1 2016 we've got the whole, you know, you can see how much throttle people are putting on, how much brake, and as you can see, because I'm just not used to it, I'm just putting in too much throttle too early. Like, you need that progressive throttle all the way through, and I'm going slow, 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 fast, and it's something I really do need to practice on. And something I really do need to get right, because once I get that right, everything should come to itself. So what I'll do now is I'll just keep showing all the little clips and segments of me fucking up, basically. There will probably be loads, so I won't slide all of them in, so that's what will be on now. So I'll show you those, and then I'll get to the next issue that I had in a few seconds. Well, not a few seconds, a few minutes. Just enjoy watching me spin, to be honest. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching me just crash and spin and do whatever, but, you know, it had to be done. Practice is a place where you learn it, and Australia's next Grand Prix, so that's what I did. So the next issue that I had is, as we move on to the next one, is braking. Now, I'm used to just slamming on the brakes pretty hard, and that's why my tyre wear is really bad. It's just because I slam the brakes on as hard as I can and just turn in. This can't happen now because you just if you slam the brakes on, you just lock up. Either the fronts lock up or the rears lock up. Either way, pardon me, it's not particularly great. So you need to sort of brake hard and then let off when you're about to steer to sort of make sure the car doesn't lock and slide. Which is one problem I did actually have quite a lot of, was me having to try and not lock up, because I was locking up both front tyres quite a lot really, which was not particularly nice to see for me, because I'm not used to locking up and things. So I was just trying to not lock up so then I could just turn into the corner, which I was really struggling with. A couple of the corners, there was one or two in particular, which I think is the third corner maybe, just after the second DRS zone, that I really struggled to brake down for, which was bad. And there comes another issue with the gearing, is you need to know what gear you're in, because if you're geared too low and you put the put the power down, then you're just going to wheel spin because it's already revving too high anyway. Whereas if it's in too high a gear, which actually isn't so much of an issue when you're learning now, if you put it in too high a gear, you're not going to move at all. So like if you're in gear 4 for a gear 2 corner, it's just not going to work. So I found a happy medium in quite a few of the corners, which is third gear. Now quite a lot of them are second gear if you're able to modulate the throttle pretty nicely, get the power down well, and that's something you'll see in my fastest lap, which is coming up in a bit. Is that I was able to sort of get in gear 3 and get, pretty nicely around the corner and, without too much wheel spin. But it was an issue that I was having, was getting too low in the gears and then just spinning up the rears and spinning because of that, rather than, the power I was putting down was fine if I was in a higher gear. So that's something else I need to focus on. But yeah, going back to braking, the last issue really is just having not knowing where to brake. And there's so many like bits of me coming up to straights and stuff, and just spearing it into spearing it into the gravel, just because I've broken at like the 50-meter board rather than the 100-meter board, and I just haven't been able to brake. I've slammed on the brakes, locked up because obviously I'm never ever going to stop, and then just gone into the gravel. And that is because obviously all of this is something I've never had a problem with, is spinning and gears and braking and all that. It's quite. You need to build your confidence quite a lot to be able to do it, because else you're just gonna screw up massively, because you don't have that confidence in the car and in your ability. So it's something that will build up, and this is the idea of the Noob Championship, is to build up your confidence, build up your ability, learn something maybe. And I know X-Matty is actually going to help us quite a lot in how we modulate the throttle and how we choose gears and that sort of thing. He has said that in his video that he's going to try and help us, which will be massively crucial. So those are the issues that we had. Well, probably all of us. Well, most of us anyway. If you watched the X-Matty videos, you'd have seen a couple that were pretty good, and then a couple that were absolutely horrendous. Me included, but I didn't really get much race time, which was a little bit annoying. But that's beside the point. The whole idea is that everyone's shit, basically. So what I'm going to do now is I've sort of found the list of problems. They do need to be I need to just practice and do it more to be able to learn it, because you can't just learn it straight away. You need to do it over a period of time, and I think this series is going to run till about January, early February. So we've got time. We've got plenty of time to learn it all, and then by Abu Dhabi we should be just unbelievable. We should be faster than X-Matty by then. Obviously, one-time AOR champion. I think it's one time anyway. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys the qualifying lap, the fastest lap I did. And then after that, we'll move on to the content that we actually got, I actually got from the new championship. So I'll show you my qualifying lap now. I'm going to do it without me talking, just to show you guys sort of how I managed, with my fast lap, and just see how it went. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll meet you in the lobby of the new championship, I think. Okay then, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed that sort of lap and all that, bits of content from practice and stuff. It's just things to look out for this and for the Australian Grand Prix, the first episode. So this was us just sat in our car in the lobby, and we just thought we just watched the first corner, and yeah, there's just an absolute shitfest going into the first corner. So we just thought, well, let's just get out there. We're not going to accomplish something by us just waiting in the garage. So we've got all prepared. Got everything going. As you can see, just in the top right, the amount of people talking, it was just so funny. It was a great lobby to be in. I wasn't actually 100% sure people could hear me, so I was just listening in all honesty, but I was enjoying it. It was great fun, but I did need to change my settings, I think, on the game. But yeah, so we get going. There's already yellow flags, which is unsurprising. Look in the first corner, it's just an absolute shitfest. So we come through nicely, break a little bit early, nice little lock up there, beautiful through here, and then just slam the throttle. Just because we're not used to it. We're just really not used to it. So we just went round. This was on the pad, actually. You'll be able to probably tell that by the steering wheel inputs and stuff like that. So we just keep planting the throttle up. just keep planting it for no reason, and I'm just not surprised that this actually went to shit. Having looked at the footage now, because when you're in it, you're like, oh my god, why am I spinning? But you know, looking at it now, I'm really not surprised that I'm just going round and round and round and round in circles. Look, my rear tyre is on 4%. As we've got people leaving the session. I don't think I was the first one to retire. I was just the first one. Well, I just didn't even get to complete a lap. So now our entirety of the front wing's gone. So we, you know, it was never going to go well, but I did expect it to go a little bit better than this when I came out. So one of our jobs in the first Grand Prix in Australia is to really look after our rear tyres and stop spinning it up, because it's already on 7%. I don't know why I was doing this, but yeah, they're already on 7%. So we did really need to. We are really going to need to concentrate on that. But there was some good bits of driving in there, like changing gear and all that. We weren't too bad at. We were okay, but I think on the wheel that's going to improve as we get into the race and get a little bit more consistent with our driving. But we did have some good moments, and it was really, really good. But we do keep just spamming on the throttle. I just needed to calm down. I don't think the control settings were particularly incredible, like the sensitivity of the triggers and stuff like that were particularly amazing. But like, look at this, and it's just plant the throttle all the time. But there we go, plant it and boom. It was never ever going to go well. Don't know how we didn't lose our tyre there. I was pretty surprised we didn't lose our tyre there. So yeah, so it's a big learning curve. We just keep planting the throttle. I'm just now telling myself to just stop fucking doing it, but I can't, because obviously, you know, I hadn't actually really learned. This was my first ever real lap doing. I don't actually know what it was. Doing non-assist, that's what I'm thinking of. That's the word I'm thinking of. So yeah, it was a interesting time, but we decided, you know, no front wing, what's the point in even trying to set a lap? So, you know, we come through here nicely. Butty's Crackers in front. It was invited to the lobby. He's not actually in the championship, I don't think, but yeah, we just spin the wheel up and boom. And there we go. There's our qualifying over without actually having done a lap. Like, seriously, it was just ridiculous. But that's how it went. So that was our qualifying over. So now we're on the grid, waiting to line up. Obviously with 22 players in the lobby, obviously with XMATG, and I think there was Noble2909 that was waiting, that was commentating, sorry, with XMATG. So we had to wait for everyone. There was a race start. Formation lap is on, just to give us a sort of sort of sense of how it goes. I think in the formation lap, all assists are on. I'm not actually 100% sure about that, but yeah, so here we go. You can see the guy on the right spinning our tyres. We go great, and then we just crash straight into the guy in front of us. So it looked like a really positive start, and then it just was never going to work. So we then had to wait for everyone else to do their formation laps, of which there was still someone going round. But I think he ran out of time, and then we were about to start. So here is our start. This is the first time I've seen it since it happened. So this is generally been our action. So 5 red lights. And we are off. Absolutely beautiful start. With not too much wheel spin. We actually got a really, really good start. And then I think it's the Williams. No, it must be the Toro Rosso. There we go. And our tyre actually blows up before we get to the corner. Wow. Okay, I didn't actually know that. So I think it was the Toro Rosso that must have wheel spun in 3rd gear maybe or something. Revved it up and spun straight into us, and that was our race gone. So that was because we started. I think we started 15th. We started in the middle of the pack. So next time, when we do qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix, we're going to have to make sure we're up there. Because if we don't, then we're going to have the same issue again of just spearing it. We're going to have the same issue of being in trouble right at the start, and that's something we're going to have to definitely nail. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. So there's a lot to look out for. There's a lot for you to look forward to. I think that will be out Sunday. Hold on, let me just check my calendar. That will be out Sunday the 2nd of September. So actually in, how many days is that? 7, 8, 9 days time. You're going to have to wait, because we're not recording this Wednesday, we're recording on Wednesday the 28th. So that is the first recording session for the season. As I randomly play that stuff again. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you. It was fun for me, vaguely, to watch all of this content again and do the practice and put this together, because it's something I don't really do often. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday for the first episode, proper episode of the Noob Championship. But I will see you on this Sunday for another episode of return to glory in my McLaren. I hope you're enjoying that series. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the new Championship 3 throughout the entirety of the season. I'd love to see your comments on this video, on XMattyG's video as well. You know, drum up all the support I can. If you could comment on these videos, drumming up some support for me, that would be awesome. So I wouldn't mind it. It's lovely to see. I've already got a couple of people that are like, yeah, I'm Team Alex already. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Drum up the support, and I'll see you guys for the next video next time.